Here's 3 reasons why I'm still buying Casper. Reason number 1 is because I still think the room for growth is there. Even though this isn't financial advice, I don't think it's going to be the best upside out there, but I think it's pretty decent nonetheless. Because keep in mind, if Casper were to go to the price of 25 cents, that right there is around a 13x from here. Now I get it. Again, it's not going to be record-breaking numbers or anything like that, but in my opinion, it doesn't seem so bad, especially considering how at one point Casper was below the price of 1 cent. At one point, it was so close to even half a cent. And even at those times, I was acquiring Casper. So let's say from that point on, going to the price of 25 cents doesn't seem so bad. Now, again, considering how Casper as of right now is above the price of 1.5 cents, even despite that, doesn't seem so bad considering, let's say, it does an additional around a 13x from here. Now, some people may think that, okay, it's not logical for it to go to the price of 25 cents. I'm going to disagree with that because if it were to go to that price, considering current circulating supply, at that point, market cap would be around $3 billion. Now, to be a little bit more specific, it's actually around 3.2 billion, but I'll just say 3 billion for simplicity's sake. This right here doesn't seem too caca in my opinion, because keep in mind, something like Shiba Inu reached around $40 billion in market cap. Dogecoin reached over 80 billion. BNB at one point even reached over 100 billion. I mean, come on, right? Even something like Ethereum, which I think is complete caca compared to Casper, that right there reached around 550 billion back in 2021. So I'm not saying that Casper is going to go to a $1 trillion market cap or something crazy like that. Around a $3 billion market cap seems like very easy. We've seen multiple meme coins far exceed this. I'm not talking about some crazy figures here. And just hypothetically speaking, if I were to put $1,000 into Casper right now, and let's say it were to do a 13x from here and again go to the price of 25 cents, around a 13x, that right there, at that point, right, if it were to reach that price, I would have turned my $1,000 hypothetically into around 13 grand. Now, I'm not telling anyone to do anything, but in my opinion, doesn't seem so bad in my, again, perspective. And now some people may think that, oh yeah, if you're so into hypothetical upside, why aren't you into some random microcap? It's because when it comes to Casper, the way you take a look at it is that the community is very passionate, it's very strong, it has great exposure. Not to mention, when I take a look at something like Casper, it doesn't have this microcap status where it feels a little bit dangerous, but at the same time, it's not some random archaic dinosaur like an Ethereum or like a Solana where it can't do, over a 10x from here, from this point onwards. I'm just saying it how it is. Like, do I think Solana could do a little bit better during this bull run? Of course. Do I think Ethereum can do a little bit better? Yeah, why not? But can they do over 10x? No, I don't think so. From the point where they aren't in as of right now. I'm not talking about years ago. Also, Bitcoin, that can't do over a 10x during this bull run. I mean, it could do okay. Like, it could maybe go to the price of $200,000 or maybe even beyond that $300,000. Who knows? But I don't think it can go to the price of like $1 million or something like that, or even over that, in my opinion. However, this actually brings me to my second point, because people like to say that, oh yeah, Casper has caca fundamentals, all this type of stuff. Well, I'm going to have to disagree with that, because this actually again brings me to my second point, which is why I think Casper is very amazing. Because in my opinion, Casper is a very amazing layer 1 blockchain. It's fast, it's very scalable, and not to mention, it has very low gas fees. Now, some people like to say that, oh yeah, Casper is this caca layer 1 blockchain because it has bad adoption. But it doesn't really matter during a fully fledged bull run. It's going to matter in the next 10 or 15 years, but in the next year or so, this doesn't really matter in my opinion. Take a look at, for instance, something like Solana. Does that have good adoption? No, it does not. Now, some people may be shocked at that because they're like, oh, take a look at the price of Solana, all this type of stuff. Well, Solana, it's primarily known for having meme coins, or should I say its ecosystem is known for meme coins. That doesn't mean it has good adoption, in my opinion. Yeah, sure, it has meme coins on it, and I'm bullish on some Solana meme coins, but it doesn't mean that Solana is this amazing project that has mass scale adoption, at least in my perspective. So when people like to say that, oh yeah, it has to have good adoption like Solana to have, this amazing rise, I'll disagree with that, because Solana doesn't have good adoption. What is it known for? Primarily having meme coins, and then on top of that, you have Jupiter, which is a good DeFi project, I'll say that, but you know what? When you ask the average individual, at least personally for me, if they actually know Solana, 9 times out of 10, they're going to say, oh yeah, Solana meme coins. They're not going to say, oh, take a look at this NFT project, all this type of stuff. Do you know what Solana has been associated with? They're not going to say this type of caca nonsense, in my opinion. They're going to say, oh yeah, meme coins. Yeah, sure, they're going to mention meme coins like, for instance, again, a Maneki, a Book of Meme, a dog with hat, but they're not going to mention any other stuff because, again, it's pretty much irrelevant in my opinion. Now, some people may think that, oh yeah, Casper, it's this trash layer 1 blockchain, but with the launch of Casper 2.0, this right here I think is going to bring many benefits to Casper moving forward. Now, the average person isn't really going to know much about the benefits of Casper 2.0, and quite frankly, I don't really care either. But you know what? It's the optics that matter, right? Just think about, for instance, if let's say someone says, hey, we have Eminem playing at our concert. Does it really matter if, let's say, Eminem goes on stage and then he's singing very badly without any autotune, and let's say he's forgetting his lyrics or anything like that? It's not going to matter. Like, no one's going to pay attention to that. Everyone's just going to say, oh, look, it's Eminem. They're just going to say that, right? They don't really care. Much like Casper 2.0, it looks cool, and I think that's all that matters, because in the world of cryptocurrencies, as of right now, what matters is the narrative. It doesn't really matter about the fundamentals because, again, the average person isn't really going to know the benefits of Casper 2.0, but they're just going to look at that and say, wow, it's cool. Like, for instance, when Ethereum became Ethereum 2.0, did many people really know what happened with that? No, I know, of course, because I actually paid attention to this type of stuff, but the average person isn't going to know. Like, for instance, Ethereum 2.0 became proof of stake. Now, many people don't know that, and they don't care, but then they just take a look at Ethereum 2.0, they're like, oh, there's a 2.0, that means something good happened. That's just the mentality. You know what I mean? It's like, for instance, there's like Jumanji 16 or whatever, like Fast and Furious 69. I don't know how many movies they make. It feels like it's so much, right? People don't really care. When they see like Fast and Furious or like something random like Expendables or, I don't know, Jumanji or whatever, they're just like, oh, it's another cool movie. But personally for me, it's just like, yeah, whatever. But then people think it's cool, right? So the way I take a look at it is that Casper 2.0, it's going to be such a big positive sentiment for the whole community overall. And even though the price of Casper is not at the price of 5 cents, let alone even 10 cents yet, but in my opinion, the way to take a look at it is that this is good news nonetheless. And during a fully fledged bull run, this is going to matter in my opinion. And I still do believe that the Casper ecosystem still has a ways to go. And I think it's arguably one of the best layer 1 blockchains out there. Despite having many competitors in terms of layer 1 blockchains, I think this one is very special because, again, the fundamentals are very fantastic in my opinion. And I think it's often overlooked, but I think this right here is hypothetically a hidden gem for me. Now, the third and final reason why I'm still buying Casper is because, as the old saying goes, a high tide raises all ships. Now, I'm not necessarily a big fan of Ethereum, but the reason why I have to mention this is because even the co-founder of Ethereum, Charles Hoskinson, who, by the way, eventually moved on to Cardano, and by the way, he is the founder of Cardano. Some people say he got fired or whatever, but you know what? Cardano's a better layer 1 blockchain anyways. But even besides that, according to Charles, a very reputable individual, again, right? His resume does speak for itself. He does predict that in the next 1 or 2 years, at least based on a video that he was a part of on November 26, he did state that he could very well see, again, in the next 1 or 2 years from then, Bitcoin reaching the price of Ether, $250,000. So that's $250,000, by the way, all the way up to $500,000, which is $500,000. I mean, if let's say Bitcoin just reaches his worst case price prediction, which is $250,000, that right there, that's having to go to Sizzler. That's having to go to Applebee's, Chili's, time to tip the waiter at least 69%, no more 10, 15, 20% nonsense. You know what I mean? We're talking about the real deal here. And why is that? It's because, again, a high tide raises all ships. If Bitcoin reaches that, could you imagine what happens to the altcoin season? I mean, it's going to be legendary. I think at that point, 25 cents for Casper, I just really don't see why that'd be too difficult, really. I mean, it's not too much to ask for, in my opinion. Now, of course, nothing I say is financial advice, but that's why I'm still staying patient. I think 2025 is going to be the real McCoy, the real deal, so to speak. I think 2024, it was just a small taste. Not that Casper really did anything special in 2024. Actually, a lot of people got scared of Casper because of the Casper Labs debacle, rebranding to Prove AI and moving on to Hedera. Even despite that, Casper has made a pretty good recovery, considering that big dump. Now, in the grand scheme of things, it still has a ways to go, but I think better days are ahead. And 2025 is what I'm looking at, which is why I'm still accumulating Casper. I've been doing so ever since 2021. Could you believe that? But you know what? I'm not going to give up. I made it this far. I'll stick it through. And again, reaching the price of 25 cents during this war run wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. And those are 3 reasons why I'm still buying Casper as of right now. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.